A family grieving today after 4 members were killed in a wrong-way crash in Waupaca County this weekend.
I can't express how much those girls mean to me. And the boys just had a presence.
Balanced news and severe weather coverage. This is Fox 11 News at 5.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. A Waupaca family torn apart just days before Christmas after a wrong-way driver claims the lives of 4 siblings.
Daniela, Lilian, Fabian, and Daniela Gonzalez all died after being hit in their car by a suspected drunken driver. The crash happening on Saturday night on Highway 10 in Waupaca County. The suspect is 47-year-old Scott Farmer. He appeared in a Waupaca courtroom this morning. He's charged with 4 counts of homicide by intoxicated use of a motor vehicle and OWI 5th offense. We'll get to the details from court in a moment. First, Fox 11's Emily Matesic sat down with the grieving mother and stepfather in their home, and she begins our team coverage.
And my wife will never be the same. But with God's strength, we will be good.
Kurt Schilling and his wife Paulina, who is originally from Ecuador, are surrounded by family, mourning the loss of 4 of Paulina's children, who Kurt treated as his own. Paulina brought 5 children into the marriage. Kurt had 4 kids of his own, too.
Our house was a true home, very blessed by God and by being a very united family.
Kurt Schilling's son Noah translated for his father's wife during our interview. We learned Paulina's boys, 25-year-old Daniela Gonzalez and 23-year-old Fabian Gonzalez, loved music.
They both spent a lot of time together because they worked together on the same schedule.
And we're all very close family.
14-year-old Lilian Gonzalez was a freshman at Waupaca Fremont High School.
Lily wanted to be a teacher.
And 9-year-old Daniela Gonzalez was in the 4th grade.
Daniela loved and really wanted to be a cheerleader.
The 4 were killed when the SUV they were traveling in on Highway 10 in Waupaca County on Saturday night was hit head-on by a truck driven by 47-year-old Scott Farmer of Neenah. Farmer is facing 4 charges of homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle.
All I would say is I hope he and all people who might drink for many bad reasons to excess or other drugs would be responsible and think of others, because you really destroyed our lives.
The Schillings tell Fox 11 the 4 victims were only about 3 miles away from home when they were killed, coming back from their weekly adventures together.
The big brothers would always treat their sisters to Culver's, and then they drop them off here, go to bed, be in church in the morning, you know, that kind of thing. It was a Saturday tradition.
2 Good Samaritans from Appleton, who drove up on the crash scene Saturday night and helped the Gonzalez children, visited the grieving family, hoping to offer comfort.
Knowing that they were all siblings was just heart-wrenching, and we just wanted to hug everybody and offer our condolences and let them know that we were there holding their hands, whether they were helped or not.
Their children were not alone, and they were, being given great praises and wake up, and we were there.
The Schillings say family, friends, and their faith will help them move forward from this tragedy, knowing one day they'll be reunited with their children.
God was always with them.
They plan to hold a funeral for the 4 here in Wisconsin before taking them back to their birthplace of Ecuador to be buried. In Waupaca, Emily Matesic, Fox 11 News.
A GoFundMe page has been set up to help the Gonzalez family during this very difficult time. We have included a link to that within Emily's story on our homepage. So far, more than $60,000 have been raised. There you will also find several other fundraisers taking place in Waupaca. Just head to fox11online.com and you can find those out. Andrew Mertens was in court today for Scott Farmer's initial appearance.
He continues our team coverage and explains what happens next with this case.
Appearing virtually from the Waupaca County Jail, 47-year-old Scott Farmer learned his bail Monday afternoon.
I think a substantial cash bond is appropriate.
Cash bail was set at $750,000.
Mr. Farmer has strong familial ties to the area. He spent his entire life in the state, and he has significant financial ties to the area that could indicate to the court that he is not a flight risk.
Farmer is accused of causing Saturday's deadly wrong-way crash on Highway 10 in Waupaca. According to the criminal complaint, Farmer had bloodshot and glassy eyes, and his speech was incoherent at times.
After the arrival of the police, he then fought with police and fought with ambulance personnel. Was completely uncooperative.
The complaint also states a Waupaca County Sheriff's deputy found an open bottle of vodka inside Farmer's vehicle. When asked how much Farmer had to drink, the complaint says he responded with, quote, a lot. Farmer was driving with a revoked license at the time of Saturday's crash. He has 4 prior OWI convictions. The most recent came in 2019. The district attorney's office requested a bail of $4 million, $1 million for each victim. Family members of the victims also appeared at Monday's initial appearance and did not agree with the bail total that was set.
$750,000 after killing 4 beautiful people's lives, our children. Where's the justice in that?
The next court appearance is scheduled for Tuesday, December 26th. In Waupaca County, Andrew Mertens, Fox 11 News.
Fox 11 has obtained the entire criminal complaint on this case. To read it in full, just look for Andrew's story on our website.
They stole many people's hearts.
Por sus talentos.
For their talents.
Por su forma de tratar a las demás personas.
And the way that they treated other people.
Y por su amabilidad.
And their personalities.
A little bit of background. You said that
Un poco de información de fondo.
How long have you been in the States with your children? And
¿Cuánto tiempo has estado en los Estados con los hijos?
Vivimos 7 años.
We lived here 7 years.
Los 2 niños trabajaban en una finca ganadera.
The 2 boys worked on a cattle
Cow farm, dairy farm.
Mis niñas estudiaban en la escuela de Waupaca Fremont School.
My girls studied in Waupaca Fremont School.
Daniela estaba en 4º grado.
Daniela was in 4th grade.
Lilian en middle school.
9th grade. Freshman.
Lilian in 9th grade.
Ellas tenían un sueño. Lilian quería ser maestra.
Lily wanted to be a teacher.
Y Daniela, por el momento, quería mucho, amaba ser cheerleader.
Y Daniela loved and really wanted to be a cheerleader. She was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a cheerleader.
Mis hijos, Daniel,
my son,
era muy apasionado por la música.
Was very passionate about music.
Fabian también.
Fabian also.
Los dos compartieron mucho tiempo juntos porque trabajaron juntos en el mismo horario.
They both spent a lot of time together because they worked together on the same schedule.
And we're all a very close family, and they love their siblings, and that's why they were always together.
Yeah. And the scene of the crash is not far from here. Were they on their way home?
They were on their way home. They were on their way home and told us they would be home at 9 p.m. And sometimes they're a little late, so by 10 o'clock we started writing them on their phones, texting them, and calling them. And when they didn't answer, which is 100% unusual, then we started to worry. But we contacted this large family, and they talked to their cousins, their friends, and we figured somebody know something, but nobody did. And that's when at 11:30 or thereabouts at night, we were very scared, and we finally tracked down the cell phone of one son, Fabian. This is Fabian. And we found his signal 3 miles down the road about on Highway 10. So we got in the car, Paulina and I, immediately, and we got to the area, and all of a sudden there's cones and lights everywhere flashing, police lights and cars, and I pulled over and thinking the worst and looking to see if I could identify my stepson's car. And it was on the far side. I was heading westbound on 10, and it was on the eastbound side. But I saw blue, so I thought it's probably it, but it was so crashed that I couldn't see it that clearly. And that's when I saw bodies in bags zipped up, laying on the ground in different places. And I got out of the car to go, and the police stopped me and said I couldn't go any further. And didn't know who I was, so I just told them who I was, that I think it's my children, our children. And they said, we can't let you go. And so I had to wait, and then they never let me see them because it was a crime scene and under investigation. Because I wasn't there, but my understanding is the driver was drunk or under the influence of something bad. He was driving exactly the wrong way on the highway, and by the impact, probably a very high speed between the two cars, so there was no chance that our children would survive.
It sounds like you're relying probably a lot on your faith to help you.
I am a pastor, and this doesn't shake my faith at all. I know we all need God in our lives to make good decisions and live well. And we're all capable of doing things and making mistakes that no one should make, but we still do. And my advice to everybody is you think before you act, because you can hurt people that are innocent, that have families, and separate them from forever just because of your carelessness or recklessness. So we appreciate all the help everyone's given us. We have a big family. My wife's family is very helpful, in my own family, to help us get through this. And my church family have been tremendous for all of us. And the community has been amazing. So we also have a dream, not a dream, we're planning on it, that we will celebrate their lives, have a funeral service here. And then, since they were all born in Ecuador, we are going to return them to their homeland, where many family and friends are waiting for them as well. And these two ladies here showed up immediately after the accident and were the first ones to arrive on the scene. And they did everything possible to try to save our children. But it wasn't in their hands to do it, even though they tried. But they held the hands of our loved ones when we couldn't be there for them. So we know they weren't alone. And we also know God was always with them.
I know when we spoke on the phone, so you're willing to speak to prevent someone from doing this. What would you say to the man? You'll be charged this afternoon with your children's deaths.
Well, I'm not going to say to him, I hate you, or or you're a horrible human being. It is a horrible thing, and he made a horrible mistake or decision to jeopardize other people's lives and his own. All I would say is I hope he and all people who might drink for many bad reasons to excess or other drugs would be responsible and think of others, because you really destroyed our lives. And my wife will never be the same. But with God's strength, we will be good.
Tell me something a little bit about the children. Some of your favorites. There.
¿Quieres tú primero o yo? Okay, yeah. Well, first of all, the oldest one, Danielle, is like one of the fastest learners I've ever seen in anything musical. And with his passion, and he learned probably from his oldest brother. There's one left that's in Ecuador. They played in a band together. So Danielle is this guy here, and his younger brother Fabian and his oldest brother Jorge played in a band together called Amaru, and it's on his shirt there. And he learned every instrument practically. He could play anything that you blow on, anything that you strum on, and he had probably 7 or 8 guitars lined up differently, and they said that he needed so many because they all do different things. But we don't understand that. And he was so kind and humble, I'll tell you that. Always respectful to me. I came into his life a little late in his life, but for 7 years they've been with us. When I married Paulina, and the greatest of respect and kindness. And Fabian, a little more mischievous, but so much love between him and his sisters and his brother, and the same for Danielle. Loved music too, wasn't as interested in playing all the instruments, but he played some too. And both of them lived a very healthy, responsible life. Unlike a lot of young people who lose their way, they were living responsibly and hard workers. And then Lilian, so they were 25 and 23, and Lilian would be 15, which is a big thing in the Spanish culture. February 1st, she would have been 15 to celebrate what they call quinceañera, or the 15 years of age, becoming a woman. And she was well on her way. All the aunts' favorite, because she would watch the children. All their little ones, they're getting bigger already. But the aunts would have her come over and know that if Lily was in charge, their children would be safe. She did the same for her little sister Daniela. And of course, like the mother said, she wanted to be a teacher. And she was natural at it. And by the way, these kids in about a year's time were fluent in both languages. Came only with Spanish and learned completely. Mastered the English language too much because she was a little sassy, could beat me in words sometimes. And Daniela, she just was the joy of the whole family. She never did anything and got in trouble too badly because she did it with such a smile and a kind spirit that you couldn't get mad at her. And she just always had a happiness and a glow about her. She was very good in art, very delicate. She's 9 years old and probably still only weighed 50 pounds. I mean, her mom's fault. So,
Peanut is just
But-
right? A little peanut.
she was called that by teachers at time, but she wore herself tall, big, strong in personality. She never let her size make her think she was less than anyone else. She was very smart and very kind, very good person. And we had so much love and fun together. She played with me the most. I knew her the most of her life because she was 2.5. And
she would just sit on all our laps and just like very loving, and yeah, me and my brother, and just like loved picking her up and running around with her, and she was very, very beautiful.
How do you move forward from here?
Cómo sigan adelante
with our faith,
con nuestra fe,
with our family,
con nuestra familia,
with our friends.
y con los amigos.
That's how.
Es todo.
And you've been surrounded by family and friends ever since
Han estado,
you found out.
han tenido
Yeah.
familia
The last,
desde el momento en que pasó eso, ¿no?
Danielle, the oldest, he was alive. They rushed him to Theta Care in Nina. And he had to be intubated and kept on life support because his brain was badly swollen. His body was intact, but his brain, from the trauma, head injury, was badly swollen and continued to swell. And by the next day, he was considered brain dead already. So we were hoping to have one child left that was alive, but it wasn't meant to be. And I bet the hospital never saw so many people come. We were all there praying over him, saying blessings, words of memory, and saying our goodbyes, because we know we will see them all again, and that they went ahead of us with their grandma. And we believe in Jesus Christ, who offers life eternal. So the story doesn't end yet. The story is continuing, and ours will end in the same place. As they say in Christmas, Christ the Savior was born. That's how we go forward.
Is there anything else you think is important that I didn't ask about that you want people to know?
We're a family just like anybody else. I'm a pastor, but totally imperfect, and we just try to live life as caring people, and we wish the best for everybody. And we wish this didn't happen, but we appreciate everyone's prayers and support.
Sounds like this community has really rallied around you, raising funds and
Yeah.
for your family. I'm sure it's overwhelming.
It is. We haven't been alone for 1 second, which is good. We haven't slept much, but there'll be time for that. And we're just thankful to everybody.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
If you have anything you want to ask directly to Paulina,
Yeah, I didn't know. Do you have anything else you think is important that you want us to people to know about your children, or?
¿Qué quieres que sepa de los hijos?
You already said the things you wanted to about it.
Whose lamb are you holding?
¿De quién es esa oveja?
Este fue el juguete favorito de Daniela.
Daniela, it's her favorite stuffed animal. We walk down the bedroom and the animal's there and she's not.
Esta ovejita llevó algunas veces a Ecuador porque era su favorito y dormía con él.
We brought this sheep with us sometimes to Ecuador when we went, and she would sleep with it.
So it's a world traveler, this little sheep.
Ha viajado el mundo esa oveja.
You've been back to Ecuador several times since coming here to the
Han
United States.
vuelto varias veces a Ecuador desde que llegaron.
3 or 4, I think. 3 for sure.
And how did you two meet?
¿Cómo se conocieron?
Well, that's a long story, but my neighbors,
Una larga historia.
where the church is located,
Mis vecinos donde
own a
queda la
farm
iglesia
right next to the church
tienen una
and happen to
finca
be
al lado,
her brothers and sister,
que son los hermanos de ella,
who've been here for many years.
que han estado aquí muchos
And
años.
being a pastor, I say hi to people.
Siendo un
So
pastor, yo saludo a la gente.
I could tell they speak Spanish, and I did, so I just said hi in Spanish, and from there I got to know the family. They invited me to lots of family occasions, and
Les hablaba en español y me invitaban
I was
a
very
cosas.
impressed in their love and the way they treat each other, the respect between husbands and wives, and
Me impresionaron en cómo trataban a la
and all
familia
people.
y
And
todos.
when we began that friendship after a year and a half,
Cuando empezamos a ser
Paulina came for a
amigos,
visit.
Paulina vino a visitar.
And I didn't know that they didn't tell me they had a sister.
Y yo no
So,
sabía que tenían otra hermana,
but
pero
I was alone,
yo
so
estaba solo.
I fell in love with her.
Me enamoré de ella.
And she did a little bit with me.
Y ella también.
And obviously you fell in love with the children.
Oh, very much.
All of us did.
Well, I've shed so many tears that I apologize for not shedding more on camera. And I will when I see the loved ones, like when my sister just came a little while ago. I mean, it just brings it all back right away. But I can't express how much those girls mean to me. And the boys just had a presence of, the girls felt safe because of all of us, right? But her brothers were, the old big brothers were watching out after them. And so our house was a true home. Very blessed by God and by being a very united family. And the same welcome I got once the family trusted me with their sister. I got the same support from them. So we're just, we were very, very close.
And everyone lived here? They all,
Not in this house. We lived right next to the church in the parsonage.
okay,
This has only been here a few months.
okay. But the boys
Yeah.
lived here?
Well, with us all together, yes,
Okay.
in the parsonage,
Everybody-
yeah.
Okay.
For 7 years, yeah.
For 7 years, we lived together as one family, yes.
And how many children do you have
4,
from your
yes.
previously?
Yeah.
So 8 total?
Yeah.
9 total, because there's a...
That's one in Ecuador,
Ecuador,
correct.
so, okay. So a bigger Brady bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, and my kids immediately love Paulina, which they should, because I have good taste.
We are a big family, but they kind of came and combined together. They call our aunts and uncles. Yes. We are just one family. And we are happy with them that they have become one family. And we are 6 siblings who live around here with Paulina. So I'm her older sister, then we have 4 more brothers. We live around the area and we have a farm.
All own the farm together.
Okay.
Own 2, 3 farms now together. They're living the American dream and doing it by hard work the old-fashioned way. So, and they all immigrated legally, and my wife had a little help marrying a white guy. I'm just saying. she
I
knows.
feel the love in this room.
We have a lot of love.
They have a big family, and they let us all just like join, and especially the brothers and sisters of Paulina that just treat us always so kind and open, and they've made it a really nice experience for us. And so yeah, and it is like losing our siblings, honestly. They were really
It is, yeah. They were very close to, my children were very close to her children. And my oldest daughter, who's in California and isn't here yet, has 4 children, my grandchildren. And they all have become very close to Paulina's children. And we were just together 2 weeks ago for his wedding, so they got to be together their last time. We didn't know that, but as it's kind of what I say as what would they be? They would be like aunts and uncles. No, by second cousins. Yeah. Well.
They'd be first cousins. Family.
Family. Yeah, I can't figure it out. My mind's mush right now. Sorry.
The kids and kids are cousins. Right.
Yeah.
Where were they? Was it they coming home from? You said they were on their way home.
I think they were coming home from Krueger's, honestly. I think that was a weekend treat that the big brothers would always treat their sisters to Culver's, and then they drop them off here, go to bed, be in church in the morning, that kind of thing. It was a Saturday tradition with them. Or go to Appleton shopping and then go to Culver's. But it always involved Culver's. Kudos to Culver's, I guess.
Just kind of a big brothers hanging out with their little sisters.
And spoiling them a little bit more than we did. Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you all so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for coming and hearing our story, and thank you to these wonderful women who were there to comfort our children in the worst moments.
So you were driving on 10 on Saturday night, walking through what happened?
Yeah, we were driving home from a friend's house on Highway 10, and I saw a few cars on the side of the road, thinking that it was just a broken down car, and then all of a sudden a truck was in front of me taking up both lanes. Had no lights on. I almost hit the truck. I slammed on my brakes. We both jumped out of the car, checked on the truck real quick. The driver said he was okay, and it was just him and the dog. Then we ran over to the car. I grabbed the hand of the front passenger to find a pulse. I couldn't find a pulse. So then I ran over to the other side. My sister ran over to the other side.
And I checked on the driver. The driver was still breathing. And then the cop came up, and we tried to pry the door open. We couldn't. And then he said there's 2 more children in the back. And we started weeping and trying to find something to smash the window. We finally got the window smashed and the airbag popped, and I checked the pulse of the teenage girl, and there was no pulse. She was gone already. So they cut the seatbelt off her and pulled her out of the car, and then cut the seatbelt of Daniela. And I reached in and held her hand for just a few brief seconds, and she squeezed my hand, and then she was gone.
I grabbed the hand of the girl that was pulled out of the back after they checked her for life. I didn't want her being there without anybody there. I held her hand. And then as more people started coming in, I went back to the front passenger because I didn't want that person to be alone. I knew that person was already passed, and I just kept holding his hand until someone told me that I had to move because I didn't want him to be alone.
And then after Daniela was gone, I went back to the driver, and the driver was still alive, and I was holding his head so they could get a neck brace around, and I just kept saying, hold on, we're getting you out of here, you know, hold on. And then once they got the neck brace out, then we were asked to go back to the other side of the road.
I mean, devastating for this family, but also for you, such a traumatic experience. I mean, it's the holidays, you're heading home from a party, right? I mean, from visiting.
Yeah, we were just visiting friends, and
I don't think we've not thought about this family, or we really wanted to get in touch with them. We called the church today and spoke with the receptionist, and then things started flowing, and asked if we could come today to see them.
What does that mean to you to be here and to be able to see them and to share, you know?
A lot.
Yeah.
We were uncontrollably crying before, not sure all the emotions, the poor family, knowing that they were all siblings was just heart-wrenching. And we just wanted to hug everybody and offer our condolences and let them know that we were there holding their hands, whether they were helped or not.
Sounds like you two are now part of this family too, I think.
We're
so
quite okay with that.
Yes.
You seem so welcoming and loving, and which I think makes it probably even harder to know that their children were taken from them, that they came from such a you know.
Knowing that they were all siblings was definitely
A hard one.
and after we heard about the fourth one yesterday, I have not stopped crying uncontrollably. We were looking at possibly like going through an EAP session and together to work out some of the things that we saw and learn how to deal with it.
I'm sure seeing the family though and being able to hug them and be with them
It felt so good.
It is tremendous weight. Has
Yeah,
lifted.
it felt so good to hug them, and that, yeah, that's going to be with us forever.
Anything else you think is important that I didn't ask about or that you want people to know?
Love and hug your children. Never know when you're going to see them next.
Do you live here in Waupaca or no?
We live in Appleton.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was really a killer for me. I have 2 children and I have 4 grandchildren. And my one granddaughter is 7, so not 9, but 7. And it was just, I was thinking of my son, and I'm like, oh, I couldn't even imagine. Couldn't even imagine what this family is going through. So it's just been really tough, and I'm so glad that, so we both took the day off of work today, and I felt that we needed to contact the family somehow, and I don't know if it was part of a grieving process that we all have to go through, and just tell them that their children were not alone, and they were, you know, being given great praises and wake up and we were there. And I hope that gave them not closure, but a little step to that direction.
Some comfort.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'm sure it wasn't easy to come here or easy what you've been through, easy to talk to me either. But
No, we actually had declined all other people that had reached out to me out of respect for the family, because I didn't want to do that without the family.
you are angels on earth for those 4 children.
They will be in my hearts forever,
They will be, for sure.
in this family.
Yeah, I think we've, I think we gained a
Big family.
now, which is wonderful. So if we can help bring peace to them, that's what we'll do.